Warning. The following episode contains Hey, other Keith here. What? Just a couple things I needed to clarify. Toward the beginning, Marianne mentions ghostly people or ghostly guests. What she means is that the people aren't actually present for the recording, but they sent ahead their draft picks ahead of time. So that's what it means, so it won't be too confusing. And, oh, well, that's helpful, I guess. Anyway, I should get on with the spoiler warnings now, so no, don't worry about it. I got something for that. Just, I'll be back in a minute. What? What do you mean you'll be back? Where are you going? So what do you expect me to do while I'm just sitting here and waiting for you to...
It's All Been Done presents.
Oh. Syndicated Nightmares. Well, that one certainly sounds like it's relevant, doesn't it? Let's see. Every Wednesday, Syndicated Nightmares takes a deep dive into an episode of Freddy's Nightmares, a horror anthology TV show from the late 1980s, based off the A Nightmare on Elm Street film series. Don't worry if you haven't seen the show. Hosts Dave Berman and Michelle Hansen will give a detailed synopsis of every episode before tearing into it like Freddy would to a scared teenager. Join them week by week as they make your nightmares fun. Check out Syndicated Nightmares and all our programs at iabdpresents.com. And support us at patreon.com/IABD. Huh. It looks like I'm going to have to deal with those spoiler warnings after all. So, what the? Where is that coming from? Hi, folks. Keith the Third here. When you hear this music, it means that I've arrived just in the arrogant bride of time to save you from hearing a spoiler. I'll tell you how long the spoiler lasts, and then give you a sound effect cue to skip ahead in the recording. If you're one of those weirdos who likes hearing spoilers, just ignore the warning and keep listening. Bye for now. What is even happening anymore? Just start it, please. Welcome to Marianne's Macabre Review.
Hello folks, welcome to Marianne's Macabre Review. Today we have our horror draft. Our fun folks we have with us today are voice actor J. Keith Jackson, writer Steve Lichtman, all-around horror enthusiast Dave. We have actor Mark, and ghostly people we have Shane and Jessica. Shane is new to the podcast. He is a filmmaker with Static Copy Island. And Jessica's an actress. She's been on here a few times. You've heard her talk before. What we're going to do is we're going to start going around with our certain topics. The topics we have are, for each theme, we will announce them again before we start the next round. We have comedy horror, revenge, found footage, foreign films, sci-fi horror, supernatural, what, that's not horror, or I can't believe that's not horror, and slasher.
So basically, this is a lot like a fantasy football draft, where instead of picking positions, basically the movie categories are the positions on our team, and the movies we pick are the players.
Yep.
So we're building a team.
Sounds right to me. That's the way I
and once a movie's picked, it's completely gone.
It's off
that
the
is
board.
very important, yes.
If you pick something in comedy, no one else can pick it for comedy or any of the other categories.
Yeah.
The other thing to note is that a single movie is a single movie. You don't take the entire series. You can,
Right.
You
have to. You
part
can't
four,
say,
you have to
I
specify.
want Friday the 13th.
Right.
You have to pick which one you want.
Just don't pick part 5.
Oh, poor part 5.
It's the imposter, Jason. No one cares about
Yeah.
We have our first round of comedy horror.
So what qualifies in your mind as a comedy horror film?
Comedy horror is a horror film that makes us laugh also, either intentionally or unintentionally.
Huh.
Oh.
So,
Well, that's interesting.
Oh, my list is all wrong.
J. Keith Jackson, what is your pick?
So yeah, as I was saying at some other point in another dimension, this just occurred to me this morning. I was thinking about it, haven't seen it in a long time, but I'm going to go with Slither, which I remember I think was pretty funny at the time.
That's all you're gonna say in defense of your choice?
Yeah.
All right.
For the moment, I mean, it's. I think we're saving the defenses for things that are kind of on the borderline gray area. I mean, I think it was intentionally funny.
Right.
It was, pretty creepy too.
And it gave us Michael Rooker doing the Michael Rooker thing we all love.
And it gave Nathan Fillion a job for a bit.
Oh.
Okay, so as I was saying before the podcast, when I first saw this category, there was like a couple half dozen films sprung to mind. And then I went to look at my movie collection to make sure I didn't miss anything. I realized that a third of my movie collection is comedy horror. So it was very hard for me to narrow this down to the one I would pick. However, I think I really have to go with Ghostbusters.
Nice.
Oof, man.
Good one.
That movie has been so inspirational in my life that basically I created a character that I have a story published about was inspired initially by Ghostbusters.
Nice.
That's a great choice.
That's a good
It's
choice.
actually, it's very funny, but it's also almost scary.
Yes.
It was
Like
great.
the opening scene with the librarian
Oh,
still
yeah.
holds up.
Yeah.
The scene where Dana Barrett gets kidnapped by, Zool is
Yes.
great. There's some really creepy bits in there, yet it is still a comedy
I just
classic.
got goosebumps from
It actually
your
was,
description of that. I was like, yes, I agree. I remember all that.
It's a great choice.
It actually was scary to me at the time when I was 10.
Yes, same here.
So
Oh, well, I've got too many written down here, so I've got some decisions to make here. Thank you for getting Ghostbusters off my list, though, so I don't have to worry about that now. Shoot.
God, there was some other popping in my head too. I was like, wait, I could have. But that's my problem. Pants.
I don't know whether to go funny or bad funny here.
Don't look.
We don't have a lot of overlap, actually.
We don't, yeah. I mean,
Okay,
we all, we
I'll-
all pre-wrote our own list, Keith.
Keith, you didn't come prepared, or you're just going to wing it here?
I'm winging it.
Okay, hey, that's good.
Yeah.
Avoiding all
I'm content.
Now you won't come into my situation where I've got too many to choose from and I don't know what to pick. Okay, so I am going to go with Jack Frost.
What?
Wow.
Jack Frost.
Wow.
Wow.
Going with Jack Frost because it is horrendous and hilarious. It's one of
Very
those that is
hilarious.
so bad that it's funny. And I don't know that they...
Oh, I'm sure they did not mean it. I thought they
Yeah,
were like,
they-
we're doing good work here. This is
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's one that's so bad it's funny. The acting was horrendous. Although it did give us Shannon Elizabeth in her film debut.
Oh, yeah. She forsook everything.
But
The
no,
line
it's...
from the film.
Yeah.
I still maintain that Michael Keaton Jack Frost is more horrifying.
Yes, I
it
would
is.
agree with that.
I agree.
So yeah, my pick for comedy horror is Jack Frost.
All right.
Good choice.
Don't forget Shane.
Shane's
Oh, Shane.
Shane.
Comedy horror. I will read for Shane. He does not have these ranked. He has 4 choices.
Do the top one.
Just do the top one. Cabin in the Woods.
good one.
Ooh.
This is Mark talking. I think of that as the Princess Bride of the horror movies. Because it works on both levels, I think.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
I'm speaking for Shane there.
Mark?
All right, I made a ranking for all my categories, as choices got knocked off, I know what to pick, but I'm already going to ignore that because I'm going to go with this was originally my number 6 choice for comedy.
What?
But as I'm thinking of it now, I'm like, I have to pick this. Ravenous.
Tell us
Comedy?
about it.
Is that actually a
That's
I
the-
guess
that's
there's
the one
some
with the,
dark humor in that.
It's lonely being a cannibal.
The cannibal thing, yeah.
Oh.
I can't remember if I saw it or not. I think I did. A long time ago.
Guy Pearce.
Guy
and-
Pearce, Jeffrey Jones, Robert Carlyle, David Arquette, Neil McDonough. I think it's very funny. Very dark. And plus, I'm going to try to pick stuff that I think deserves more love and attention.
yeah.
Very good.
Because of my original number 1 choice, well, if someone says it later, I'll mention it.
Jessica, her number 1 comedy horror was taken by Shane. So we'll go to number 2 is Army of Darkness.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
It's a good one.
It is a good one.
And for myself, comedy horror is Tremors.
Oh,
That was my number
great.
2 choice.
Nice.
Yep.
Tremors was number 2 for me. All right.
Okie dokie. So Steve, your first pick.
Oh, I thought we were going
Nope, we're going towards you.
So I actually get my first pick on revenge horror.
Yes. Do you want your first pick on something else?
No, this is one I feel pretty strongly about.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
And this is also, and I'm glad I gave first pick because I had a really hard time with this category because I tend to not like revenge horror. But I love this movie for all the reasons why I don't like revenge horror, I guess is the best way to put it. But anyways, enough blabbering. It's The Abominable Dr. Phibes.
Tell me a little bit about it.
Okay, it is, I think it's 1970s or late 60s.
I think it's 60s.
But it's Vincent Price. Opening shot is Vincent Price playing an organ, rising up from this riser, playing with a clockwork ragtime band.
Okay.
That is the opening scene. The use of color in this movie is just, it's beautiful. It's kind of like, so Vincent Price plays Dr. Phibes, who is getting revenge on the doctors whom he blames for his wife's death. And the method he picks is based off of the biblical plagues of Egypt.
Wow. Okay.
So it's almost like Seven, but funny and more Jewish. It's very tame compared to some of the other films we're going to be talking about tonight. I think it's PG, and like I said, it's like made in the 60s. But yet there's still some very gruesome ways that he kills people.
Nice.
That if you haven't seen it, I don't want to give them away because it's like, holy crap,
It's on my list to watch
Yeah.
now that I remember it because they have it on Shudder. So
It makes me think of Theater of Blood.
Yeah. So it's again, it could also be called comedy horror.
Oh.
I don't think you'd find a more British film also on this my list. Just so much stiff upper lip and type of things from the detectives trying to track him down. But yeah, so that's my pick for revenge horror.
nice.
It's a good one.
Dave.
Let's see here. Where do I go? I'm going to go with A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, wow.
New
Nice.
or the first one?
The original.
Original.
Yeah, because basically Freddy is getting revenge on the parents of the people that killed him. You can believe that.
I had that.
Or the kids.
The kids. Yeah, so he's getting revenge by killing their children. So, yeah, I'm going that way. A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I had that on my supernatural list. So
There's a lot of crossover and
it is.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. It was my number 2 choice. no one is taking my number 1
That
supernatural
doesn't
choice.
mean anything though.
I know.
Right.
I know. I'm just saying.
You said I'm picking number 6 now.
I know.
We gotta do Shane next.
Okay, Shane for round 2 revenge. Number 1, Get Out.
Is that revenge?
I don't.
The horror is not so much him escaping as it is what they've been doing to black people all these
Well,
years.
Revenge.
It's revenge / vendetta. So
Okay.
I was going to say that there's a couple ways you could look at it. I don't agree with it, but I'm going to say that, the grandfather that started it was, like, I was revenge on the black people that beat me racing. And there's also at the very
revenge
end.
was more like a twisted admiration.
yeah.
Again, as it's debatable.
You want me to
I don't
raise
think it qualifies, but I can see how somebody could.
Well, it's Marianne's podcast, so
And also at the end when he takes vengeance to
to get out.
But
His second choice is more appropriate, Carrie.
okay.
But his third choice is Scream. And his fourth choice is Pet Sematary. Which I don't... I can live with putting Get Out down, but I'd be more...
All right, so let's raise of hands. Who thinks Get Out is revenge / vendetta horror? Okay, so if we're gonna say no one agrees, then we nix it and we pick the next one.
Carrie.
It's too bad he's not here to defend his
Right.
choice.
Yeah.
That might have made a difference, but
Carrie is
That's
unquestionably
Definitely.
It's the archetype for that
Undoubtedly.
genre.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. Mark?
All right. Once you mentioned Dr. Phibes, I almost changed my choice to Theater of Blood. But I'm going to go with my original number 1 choice, Old Boy. That is just... I first saw it in high school, was very disturbed by it. And then I saw it again a few months ago. It is hysterical in a very uncomfortable way.
Noticing a theme with your movie picks here.
Well, it's almost debatable for me. I mean, I guess it is horror in the technical sense of it, right? I mean,
No, it's horror.
Seems like more like action to me, but
The original version is the one I'm talking about, just for clarity.
did you see the other one too?
I have not seen it.
It's all right. I mean, it was a pretty close retelling of it, essentially. Just
Jessica's pick for revenge/vendetta horror. Number 1 pick is Friday the 13th, the first one, and she gave some reasons why. Because
it fits.
Yeah.
I think.
technically, the first whole movie is the mom getting revenge because the camp counselors weren't paying attention.
Yeah, I had that one on my list as well.
And then part 2 is Jason getting revenge for them killing his mother.
And killing him.
Yeah. And somehow he had a growth spurt
Yeah.
between the time.
Gigantic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just swollen from that lake water.
that's just it's a wholesome lesson for kids about why revenge doesn't work. Just keeps this cycle going, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my revenge/vendetta horror pick number 1 is Saw 3D, which is it's called the final chapter because it brings it all back together.
Okay.
And I watched all of them. That twist at the end, I'm like, yeah, it's so exciting. I loved it. I really loved the idea of Saw. Anyway, I'm going to leave a 5 seconds gap so I can put a spoiler warning in.
Whoa! Not so fast, Marianne. You're about to spoil the end of the entire series. What if they still want to see Saw? If you'd like to hear what she's going to say, just keep listening. But if you want to be sensible and safely skip past it, jump ahead 30 seconds after the sound of the third tone.
And what it is Dr. Gordon from the first film.
You guys all know
who
this?
cut
I've never
his,
seen a single Saw movie.
Oh, man.
It's all good.
He had to use the hacksaw to get out of the trap, the saw, the jigsaw trap, and you see him escape, is the master apprentice in the last film, the final chapter, and he comes back to take revenge on the one that has been tainting the name of Jigsaw. I loved it. I thought that was great. And it's Carrie Elways, and I love him. So...
As you wish.
So it's the Princess Bride of revenge movies.
It is! Oh my gosh, keep tying it all back together.
Sorry. I enjoyed that series, really. I know not everyone feels that way about it, and certainly there are some in the middle that weren't as good as the outer ones, but I like when you have a series that ties everything together like that. Mm-hmm. Good continuity.
So what's your pick then?
Oh, I couldn't really think of anything, so I'm going to go with I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Alrighty. So we are now to Dave with found footage.
Oh, found footage.
Huh.
I have a feeling I'm not
Gotta
gonna
start
any
thinking.
of my
Footage. Let's see. Oh, jeez.
I know what I really, really don't want to have to pick, so I'm thinking.
Am I gonna pick it for you, Keith?
I got 3 choices I'm in love with.
I only have 3
I don't-
total. I'm like, oh.
Oh, should I go with something different or one of the?
Now this is found footage and mockumentary. So.
Ah, okay.
I've got. So frustrating.
Wow.
Did you just cross something out? No, you're just.
No, not yet.
Tapping.
The first 2 are very obvious. I'm gonna go a little less obvious and go with The Last Exorcism. I don't know if do you know what that one's about?
I don't. Tell
So
us
there's
about it.
I have a guess,
there's
but-
a minister in the South who has kind of lost his faith, but he continues to do sermons and just kind of go through the motions, and he gets a bunch of letters all the time about people who claim that they've been possessed, and so he randomly just picks one and says, "I'm going to go down here and kind of perform an exorcism," but basically he fakes it. He's got all kinds of stuff set up to where he's got fake smoke that comes out of a cross. He's got speakers that he's got, and he goes in and sets it all up.
Yeah.
And to basically go in and say that, this is all fake, but I'm going to make you
Make it
think
look like
this
it's
is
real.
real,
I can do it in my
and
job.
then when you feel better afterwards, it's more of a psychological thing.
Placebo.
But then actual like real crazy things begin to happen after he does this. So
Interesting.
yeah, I think it's a really interesting movie.
All right. Shane.
And I'm so happy this is Shane's number 1 pick, because his number 2 pick is my number 1. But Shane's found footage number 1 is Cloverfield.
Disqualified. Go to number 2.
No.
And I think most people know about Cloverfield, so it's pretty popular.
Yeah. I like that one.
My choice for found footage mockumentary, What We Do in the Shadows.
I knew that's the one you were going to pick.
Can you tell me about that
Don't
one?
know if I know that one.
It's in New Zealand. It's a New Zealand mockumentary about vampires living in Wellington.
Oh, that sounds so familiar.
And the guy who did Thor Ragnarok, I can't remember his name. Yes, he co-directed and he co-stars in this.
Yeah.
The vampires, they're all quirky and kind of fussy, but it doesn't shy away from the fact that they kill people and drink their blood.
Interesting.
I think it really is like, if vampires were living and trying to adapt in society, this is what they kind of would have to do.
Have you seen it, Marianne?
I haven't. It's got.
You need, out of everyone I know, you need to see this movie.
I was given a text about when it hit the Gateway, one night only, and they texted me at 10 p.m. when I was already doing something else. And I'm like,
I have it on. I have it on. You should. I have it on DVD. I will loan it to you for sure.
thank you. Yeah.
In fact, if you have Amazon Prime, I believe it's streaming right now.
I think it is,
Yeah.
Jessica's found footage is Record, REC.
Oh,
Number 4 on my list.
It's a good one.
I don't remember that one.
It's the original Spanish version of Quarantine.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think, I have not seen Quarantine, but I'm told it's pretty much just...
It's basically a shot-by-shot remake, essentially. I mean, there's not much
Yeah, I think we've
variance
seen
in
it.
it.
I think we watched Quarantine a couple years ago or so.
Alrighty, mine, Troll Hunters.
Oh wow.
Number 5 on my list.
Up to you.
Well, since you threw in mockumentary, which I didn't realize was going to be there, it's easy. I had to go with Behind the Mask. It's something I actually thought I would, back when I voted it out for comedy, I was thinking, wait, I could have picked that instead, but this actually works probably better for this
Number
category.
3 on my list.
It
Oh, yeah.
could have been done for slasher.
Yeah, so Behind the Mask, Rise of Leslie Vernon.
All right. Well, I'm going to be the lame-o that goes with the really well-known one, Paranormal Activity, the first one.
I had that in my list.
Yep.
I think one of the reasons why it hits me so hard is because I was raised in a devout Catholic family, and so I identified with a lot of the imagery and you don't do this, you don't do that, and I really just thought they did a good job of building up the suspense.
Yep.
My favorite scene in that is the baby powder. And
It's a
Ooh,
cheap,
that was-
easy way to get a
Yeah.
great
I think the
fright
doorbell
out
is
of you.
rang.
I can do it.
Okay.
it is now Shane.
And,
Shane for Foreign.
Film.
and that's your number 1, isn't it?
No, actually, his number 1 is my number 3.
Oh dear.
High Tension,
Oh.
which I would call that my favorite of the new millennium, but I hate that ending.
Can you tell us about it?
So it's these 2 college students go out to the farm of the one's family, and they're going to study, get ready for finals, and then some deranged trucker shows up and just starts massacring the family.
Oh.
And the one girl fights back, and then there's a...
That's the ending to High Tension. We wouldn't want to have to change it to Low Tension, would we? To skip this spoiler, jump ahead 30 seconds after the 3rd tone.
Spoiler, we find out there is no trucker, it's just the one has a lesbian crush on the other, and she has an insane personality, and it's just, I just hate how it was done, because it was like, they show things that couldn't have happened if there was only one person there, and I'm just,
You find out the ending and then you dig through all the plot holes.
And it was so gripping, it's so nasty and violent. Like the trucker, his introduction is he's using a severed head to service himself. Then he just tosses it out the window. So, is that too vile for this podcast?
No, nothing is too vile.
Okay. The point being, though, is it was a movie that didn't need that kind of twist, I don't think. But I am happy it is someone picked it, because the first 2/3, I think, are just amazingly well.
I had it on my list.
Mark, it's not your choice.
All right. Shane picked my number 3, so I get to pick my number 1, Cemetery Man.
Cemetery.
So we're in foreign right now?
Yes. Also known as Delamorte Delamore, Rupert Everett plays the caretaker of an Italian cemetery, where one week after they bury the dead rise up to attack people, and as part of his job duties, he's to dispose of them and rebury them. And he's kind of bored with that. And that's just, it's highly surreal, darkly comic. He's got this assistant named Nagi who falls in love with a severed head. Rupert Everett falls in love with a woman who, all these different women who are all played by the same actress. And it's almost as if Terry Gilliam made an Italian zombie. That is the best way I can describe it, Cemetery Man.
All right.
But before we get too much further, I just have a very self-serving rule to propose, just in case. I would say that at the very end of everything that's been done, maybe we could all get one do-over, just in case. Like if
your favorite that you had for someone else, maybe.
Right. Well, if you have, let's say that you think of a movie that no one else has picked by the end of everything.
I think everyone. Okay.
Do
right.
like maybe one replacement
I don't
or
think
something.
many of us will need that because we plan ahead.
We work for this, Keith.
I might need a do-over. Maybe I'll need a do-over. We'll see.
Okay, so we can do that for the people that. All right, Jessica, foreign horror, first pick, Train to Busan.
I still need to see that.
I haven't seen either.
Never heard of it.
It is a Korean horror with obviously zombies.
Oh.
So they have a prequel that is animated, and now they're making a Train to Busan 2.
Train back from Busan?
Yeah, something. My foreign film, number 1, Audition.
Oh.
I had that under Revenge Vendetta.
Yeah, I wanted to keep that one. You know, I have a bunch in this list, but I was like, it might be taken under Revenge, so I had my other favorites on here. So, yeah.
Damn it.
Keith,
I'm trying to. I can't think of the name of it. I know what it is, but I can't
can
think
you
of the name.
describe it? Is it what foreign country is it?
It was either Australia or New Zealand. It was this zombie movie, not the one that you're thinking of.
The Dead?
No, it was really brutal at the time. It was notable for
Get
that.
Alive?
Yes.
Peter Jackson?
Yes.
It's New Zealand.
Steve.
I am shocked that none of my picks have been picked.
All right.
Which makes me in a very tough bind here. Between the top 2. This is hard.
Is one of the ones I was thinking of?
Nope.
Okay, not that one. All right.
All right, I'm going to have to go with my gut on this. Because when I first saw this category, the first movie that sprung to mind was the original Suspiria.
That was my number 2.
Don't know if I ever saw that. I'm sure I saw either of them.
It's typically on any of the free streaming services. If you don't know the story, it's about this American girl who gets into a very elite dancing school in Germany. And when she gets there, just very strange things are afoot. But Dario Argento's use of color, specifically in this, it makes it look like a very twisted fairy tale.
And the Goblin soundtrack.
And the Goblin soundtrack is by, and sometimes it's corny, but other times it gets like really intense and creepy and really does things that kind of jack up the tension. And once that main theme gets in your head, it'll be stuck in there for weeks.
Nice.
But yeah, I highly recommend it if you have not seen it. It's kind of a classic in the Giallo.
Dave?
I'm gonna go with Let the Right One In.
Nice.
Oh, good
It's a
one.
good one. Not the right one. It's creepy, but it's not like, it's more sad, I think.
Yes, it's definitely sad, yeah.
Alrighty, and it's Jessica's turn for sci-fi horror. Her first pick is Resident Evil. Virus made in the lab.
Gotta start thinking sci-fi horror.
Sci-fi horror. Marianne's pick is The Cell. So that's Jennifer Lopez, Vincent
Vanessa
D'Onofrio,
D'Onofrio
And Vince Vaughn.
Vince
and
Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn. Yes, they're all in that.
All the Vinces.
The guy, there's a serial killer kidnapping women and killing them, making them into dolls. They find him, but he has actually gone into a coma. He's actually brain dead or something like that. I can't remember exactly. And they have this new machine where they can go into the person's dreams or into their mind, and they see what they're all about and everything. And so she's got to try and find where the most recent kidnapped girl is before she dies. And I love it. There's a lot of gory imagery and a lot of beautiful costumes. And the one scene that I like the best is the where he's got the rings on his back and he starts walking and you realize that it's attached to the drapery around, so they just start flying out of the room. It's so good. And it ends up being like a beautiful cape, purple cape for him. It's very good. Highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. Keith?
I got distracted listening to you.
I was going to say.
What was even the category?
Category
So-
is sci-fi.
Right, yeah. I'm going to have to go with Predator.
Good one.
It bleeds so we can kill it.
Stick around.
Get to the chopper. Go on, go. Anyways. So is it me?
Yeah.
Okay, this is my Sophie's Choice.
Oh, yeah.
There are two movies that have been with me since I was a kid that I watch them at least once a year, if not more than that.
I'm dying to hear what they are.
And I know if the one I don't pick is going to get picked by somebody. If not, then I don't know what the hell's going on.
You mean for like an eventual category?
Right. Or just like in this, like within the next 5 minutes. But again, this is Sophie's Choice. It's so hard. But okay, I'm going to have to go with Alien.
Nice.
I figured it had to be
That was my number one.
Yeah. Ever since it was one of the first rated R movies I ever saw as a kid. And ever since then, I've had nightmares of that creature, even now into my adult
Really?
life. Yes. In fact, a few years ago when that Alien Isolation game came out, I immediately snatched it up to buy it. And as I'm playing, I'm like, why did I pay someone $60 to relive a nightmare I've had since I was 7? Am I stupid? And I never finished the game. But yeah, so Alien.
It was well done then, the game?
Oh yeah, hell yeah! If you like horror video games and survival horror specifically, but you want something that's a whole new twist on it, get Alien Isolation.
One monster.
Yes, and you cannot kill it.
So it's based on...
It's Amanda Ripley, Ellen Ripley's daughter.
Right.
Okay, so it is within that world.
Yes.
Nice.
And they even took the look and the feel of the first films. Like all the computers are clunky and make those weird noises, and you see the little bobbing water birds on people's desks and stuff.
Nice.
I mean, there's so many nice touches to it. But Alien, it's Lovecraftian. It's Giger.
Right.
It's so much goodness.
That made it easy for me. I'm going to go with Jurassic Park.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shane, what is your pick, Shane?
Shane's pick, he had Alien at number 1.
Gone.
His number 2, Aliens.
Yeah. That's
There
what
you go. Yep.
I was thinking. That's the tough... I mean, I think for me, anything that whole... continuum,
Pretty. Yeah, that's pretty
Alien, Predator,
scary.
whole stuff. Just
Yeah. My choice, I originally had Alien at number 1. I had Aliens at number 3. My number 2 was The Thing.
That was,
Yep.
John Carpenter's the
I had
thing.
that
Yes.
on there too. That was my third.
And
yeah.
I love The Thing. I just
So good.
it's that blood test scene, and even some of the stuff where there's nothing overtly horrific happening, like the opening helicopter through the desolate Antarctic tundra. It's just like
With a Neo Morricone score, that
boom, boom.
boom, boom, boom. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it's really
there's so
good.
much about that movie that it holds up. All the practical effects, still better than any goddamn CGI you will see.
Oh, yeah.
Number 6, supernatural horror. It will be...
Good lots of scratching on this one, I think.
I think no one's going to pick my number 1.
It?
Yep.
Tim Curry or
No. The most recent one.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, it.
I love Tim
That
Curry
is
as
Stephen King's
Pennywise.
It.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I thought he was
I love it
fantastic.
too, but Bill Skarsgård just knocked it out of the park with it.
Oh, man.
I do want to talk about my others if they don't get to
I do too. But Keith,
Oh, my God.
I can.
one of my
I
picks
can-
has already been taken
No.
thanks to you. You
Sorry.
picked Nightmare on
How
Elm
can you-
Street.
I mean-
No,
You're
okay,
right.
yeah.
That was
Damn
my
it.
number 2.
Okay.
I feel bad, but she did tip me off to something here that I...
Because I know it's your favorite. Okay,
It's up there. I'm going to go with Insidious. Or maybe... No, I'm torn between... No.
writing.
No.
Let's treat it like a Vegas card game. You say it, it's out. There's no taking it back.
No, I'm debating between that one or the second one, so you don't have to scratch it out.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because
Just don't put the set 2 in.
Yeah, don't put the 2 yet.
Insidious 2.
Okay.
Doing it.
No,
Yeah.
no. I agree. I like. They're kind of a pair movie, so
It's again, continuity, tying things up. Loving it, so.
they.
Well,
very fourth wall-y. They kind of they do stuff in the first one, and you're like, what the hell is that? And then they do the second one, and you're like, holy shit, that matches up with what happened in the...
Yeah. I'm done. Lock the thread. So.
Okay. You sure?
Yes.
You want to take that piece back? And put it, okay.
I'm going to have some tough
His
choice.
finger on it.
Okay.
Yep.
Steve, you're the only person I'm afraid might take my choice.
So there are two categories right now where I'm debating like which I'm going to want to use for the do-over because there's two glaring errors I made. So
Well, I'm just stunned that yet again I'm getting my first choice for something. Because this seems like a no-brainer to me. The Exorcist.
It wasn't
Put it on my
no-brainer,
list.
but it's not on my list just because I knew someone else.
Okay.
I went with something more obscure.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen The Exorcist now and you're listening to this, I don't know who you are. It's an absolute classic. It holds up both as a dramatic film and as a super, super scary horror film.
Yeah.
Some classic moments in it, and again, I'm raised in a devout Catholic family, so a lot of it, resonates. Maybe that's part of the reason why it stuck with me. But yeah, The Exorcist.
Funny story I have. We watched it over at my friend Paul and Anthony's house. They were watching it unbeknownst to the people that were all over there watching it, except for me. Was that he had recently hooked up the lights to the computer upstairs so he could turn them on and off. So they got to the end of the movie and started flipping the lights on and off. And all you could hear was, the power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. They were just terrified. It was great. Dave.
I'm gonna go with The Grudge.
Nice. Ju-on or
No, The Grudge. I'm gonna go with The Grudge. I remember watching that movie when it first came out, and from the first time I saw her face up in the attic when she brought the maid up there, or the helper.
Yeah.
I was terrified. And then you got the little boy, Toshio. Mm-hmm. The one thing I remember about seeing that movie is it happened. If any of you like rap, it happened around the same time Old Dirty Bastard from the Wu-Tang Clan died. So I was listening to his CD that night, going to the theater on the way back. So the very first track that comes on when I'm back in the car on my way home, he's like, it starts out like, you remember when we were kids and we used to do, and he starts doing that, and I completely freaked out in the car. Like, I'm looking in the back seat, like, oh my god, Kayaku's coming to get me. Like, it was so freaky. Like, it scared me to death. But I thought that was such a weird coincidence that that's the very first thing that plays after I get out of watching The Grudge. Yeah. I was like, ugh. Mm-hmm.
I recommend watching Ju-on and reading the book because the book gives you a little bit more. I lent it to Dave and he read it and
it's crazy.
Well, not at the same time.
Oh man!
Don't do it at the same time. It won't make any sense. So.
Yeah.
Shane.
All right, Shane.
Love how you do this.
He had The Grudge as his first choice, and then after that he had The Ring.
Okay.
Or as he just wrote Ring. So whether he means that or
it could be any ring, not the
but
ring.
I don't care because none of you picked my number one choice.
I really want to hear what this is.
Angel Heart.
Oh wow!
Angel Heart, not Angel Heat, but Angel Heart.
Robert De Niro,
Mickey Rourke, Lisa Bonet.
Oh, that is Angel. Okay, what am I thinking of then?
That Mickey Rourke plays this post-World War II private eye, Harry Angel. He's approached by this businessman played by Robert De Niro to track down this missing singer who owes his career to Robert De Niro, and now he owes Robert De Niro something. And in case you're wondering what he might owe him, Robert De Niro's character's name is Louis Cypher. Wink, wink, ha-ha. Oh. But it starts off film noir, and it's kind of a get-go from the obvious. That's who Robert De Niro is. It starts off film noir, fedoras, Venetian blinds, the spinning fans, and then it just descends gradually into supernatural horror. Mickey Rourke, they start off in New York, they go to New Orleans, and there's this voodoo cult, and it just starts getting really freaky and weird. And, I love it. Alan Parker did it. And he also did Pink Floyd's The Wall.
And her first one is Insidious. So thankfully, Keith
went with part 2.
No wonder you were
Good job,
hovering so
Keith.
close with the pen to write the two.
Yeah.
All right, so now I went first. So now, Keith, it's back to you.
Figures.
So this is the not
on
horror.
the hardest
What?
one.
This is not horror.
Whatever, just a movie that disturbed you enough, yet it's not horror.
Damn it.
This is going to be, I think, the most interesting category of the night.
Yeah,
It will be.
definitely.
If anyone
I
picks
can't-
7 and tries to argue it's not a horror movie, I'm taking you out back. 'Cause that is a horror movie.
Okay, well,
So
let me
these-
scratch
these-
it off my list
So
here.
these, so these happy movies, they're technically not categorized
Yeah.
as horror, like
Yeah.
man. Oh, okay, like Fatal Attraction.
Yes, like Fatal Attraction.
Yeah.
Is that your
Is that
pick?
your pick?
That is my pick. Yeah. Yes, I remember. Yeah,
This is a hard one. But I have to be honest with this one. It's Platoon.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that when I was in 7th grade, and I went home and just kind of shut the lights off my room and just laid there on my bed and just thought about that actually happened to those people that weren't too much older than I was. And some of the imagery of that just sticks with me. It's so disturbing.
I grew up on the Major League movies. I know Tom Berenger is the rugged old catcher.
Right.
Oh my god, he's terrifying.
He's a fucking bastard. Yeah, you see people just lose all their morality, when they beat up the villagers and then other, worse things that happen to them. It's just so disturbing, and that's actual history. So, that was a happy thought.
Yeah.
What you got?
I'm going to go with Buried, starring Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember that at all. That's
Yeah.
not-
So
I remember it.
I'm guessing he's buried alive or
So
something.
this was So he was a trucker for the military. He was bringing in goods, and their truck gets bombed or something like that, and him and whoever else survived, I guess, are buried alive. So basically, the entire movie revolves around him just being buried inside a coffin out in the middle of the desert, and him trying to escape. And they left him a couple of items, he had a cell phone and a glow stick, but the cell phone is in Iraqi or whatever language, wherever he was out. And this movie was a problem for me because I am horribly claustrophobic, and I was the only person in the theater. And this is a big, wide open theater, and I just felt I couldn't breathe, watching this movie, at points. In the very beginning and then in the very end, when you find out, what happens, because it's just a chintzy wooden coffin. Finally, sand starts draining in, and it's getting more and more and more confined. And it was the most miserable experience I've had during a movie ever. Just because I'm so claustrophobic. It was freezing cold outside. When I drove home, I had to roll the windows down because I just felt like I couldn't breathe. It was,
Oh, wow.
man,
Wow.
it's those types of things, confined spaces just kill me.
Don't watch The Vanishing then.
Yeah.
And then an old dirty bastard showed up.
Right.
Oh, hey, dude.
Shane, how about you?
Shane's pick for what not... He has Martyrs on here. Which I would think it was horror. He also has... His R looks like an E, but he wrote Dead Girls. And then his third
I don't
choice
know
was
what that
and his third and final choice was Old Boy.
Which has already been taken.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what.
Yeah, I don't know what Dead Girls is.
I should probably just go to IMDb first because Dead Girls is not going to bring up the right search results. I'm pretty sure.
We do an FBI list that way.
Just Dead Girls.
Getting there.
2014, maybe? 3 stories of abused, forsaken girls. It's a horror thriller, is what it is. So,
Thrillers are tough calls. I think lots of slash. As in something slash horror is kind of debatable anyway. So it's hard to say.
they return to take their revenge.
When you say return, are they
Zombies.
undead or are they alive?
There's one in 1982 or 1980 as well.
Check that one, because this one is definitely horror.
If the other one isn't horror, we're putting that in.
There's a 1990 Dead Girls, too.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry. I meant to say 1999, not
There's
1980.
also a 2000 Dead Girls, which is Japanese.
Well, anyway, the 1991 is...
this is thriller horror too. So it's thriller first instead of horror second.
Yeah.
So
The female band who are exponents of death rock retreat to a cabin for the weekend. That seems like it will be a horror movie.
We're just gonna keep this one blank for Shane.
Yeah. Does anyone have his number? Okay, my choice. I have some really good ones I'd love to pick, but I'm just going to go with one from my childhood, Willow.
What?
What?
That's my childhood.
I love
favorite
Willow,
movie.
but there are some really freaky parts in that movie.
Like what?
You got the evil queen witch who is targeting a baby, turning an army into pigs, horribly transformed. Mm-hmm. You got dragons and monsters eating people. It's very dark in places. I watched it. I watched it probably every week as a kid. Mm-hmm. You know, I watched it recently with my niece and nephews and seeing it through their eyes, and they were like, you know, and I'm like, so maybe it's just that, but I'm gonna just have Morta turning an army into pigs. Is just, you got the General Kale with the skull helmet. And I love Willow, and I think it's a great rousing adventure, and it
holds up so well.
It does.
Too.
There's a lot of, but it's definitely, it's like that children's fantasy adventure thing, the heroes and the dragons and the monsters, but that stuff has dark, scary elements in there, so.
Yeah, like,
But if you guys don't want me to put Willow down there, I have other choices.
Hey, it's your choice, man. No one else is going to argue.
Yeah, it's not a horror movie. It is definitely not a horror movie. So, while we're...
we still have Jessica.
Which martyrs? I mean, there's actually two martyrs.
There's the original version and there's the remake. I think they're the same movie.
Yeah. So 2008, 2000.
I think we can just give him martyrs, although I think that would be horror. Because it's definitely in that torture porn cycle.
I always thought of it as horror.
I did too. I mean, I had that on my vendetta list of Grease.
IMDb calls it drama, horror, thriller.
Well,
I mean, we'll put it down, and we will give him bonus or negative points. So Jessica, I can't believe that's not horror, is we need to talk about Kevin, which is one of mine that I had on the list.
Is it like is it like a stalker movie or?
It's more like it's your.
Go ahead.
Tilda Swinton has this son, Kevin, and
Ezra Miller, my crush.
And it jumps back and forth, like progressing his life from like the time she's pregnant with him to he's a little kid and he's older, and then like clearly something bad has happened involving Kevin, so it's jumping back and forth between timeline,
current day,
and then after, and he's seriously disturbed, like he's displaying all the classical elements that he's like the next Jeffrey Dahmer, and he clearly, his whole motivation seems to be he just wants to make her life miserable, and no one else sees how awful he is. She's married to John C. Reilly. He's like, oh, Kevin's, he's just got his issues. You got to be nicer to him. And he's such a dope dad.
It gets him everything he wants, like an archery set where you can see that goes wrong.
Oh,
There's a little sister that...
I might have watched that. I don't know.
I've watched it. I tried to get you to watch it with me, so I don't remember.
I really liked it. That was Lynn Ramsey who did that. And there's this really funny bit that takes place after what has happened, where these door-to-door, like, I guess they're Mormons, or they're the door. They're like...
Jehovah's Witnesses?
Yeah. And they knock on the door, Tilda Swinton. At this point, we know she's a pariah in her community. Like, people are egging her house and doing stuff based on...
She's got, like, murderer painted on, like, in red paint on the front of her White House.
And they ask her, do you know where you're spending eternity? And she's like, yes, I'm going to hell, and I'm going to suffer there forever. Thank you. Have a good... And the thing is, it's funny, but you could tell she's totally serious, and she believes that. So it's definitely...
My pick for... I can't believe that's not horror, is 7.
That is a horror movie.
But if you go to IMDb, it's not.
I don't care what IMDb
I had
says.
it on my list too.
I had it on my list too.
That is a horror movie.
When I posted on Twitter about that and said, what's a horror movie that you don't think is a horror movie? Or what is a horrific movie that is not technically classified as a horror movie? I said 7, and I had like 3 or 4 people tweet me saying, you're wrong.
John Doe has the same MO as the Jigsaw Killer.
Yeah.
in the way he punishes people for what their perceived sins are.
So
and he does this
I
horrible...
can do my second one if we prefer. I mean...
Well, if you all have 7 on your list, I'm not it out. So.
All right. Final one is slashers. So what's your final pick?
And the fact that I'm getting this for first is ironic to me because I freaking hate slasher films. I hate them so much that one of my few published stories is actually making fun of slasher horror. It's called The Pro Turned Weird. It's actually still up on Stupefying Stories Showcase. Shameless plug there.
So what was that called?
The Pro Turned Weird.
Oh.
It is a mashup of urban fantasy and slasher horror.
What's it on?
Stupefying Stories Showcase. There's a link to it also on my website, which is beerandmonsters.com.
That is a great website.
So anyways, with that plug out of the way, for a slasher, I'm going to go with Psycho.
That was my number 2.
I didn't see it until I was like in my 20s, and when I saw it, I was like, holy shit, they killed the main character off in the first 10 minutes? And then, it just kind of, it's just so many creepy things about it. Of course, it's considered a classic in the genre. Psycho.
Mm-hmm.
Well, seeing as how I have a movie marathon dedicated to it every year, I'm going to go with Halloween.
Nice.
Which one?
6 times! No, the first one.
That was my number 3.
That was my number 2.
Shane, how about you? Final pick.
Scream.
That was my number 4.
My number 1 pick, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The original. So chainsaw is 2 words. In the title, it's 2 words.
Jessica, what's your final pick? Scream. Is that one been picked?
Yeah,
Yes.
just
Yes,
got picked.
been picked.
Shane picked.
She has Saw as her second one.
Shane has that as his number 4. So I guess we can put it in.
I would consider that slasher.
Definitely.
Yeah.
For mine, I just wrote that on myself. That's not what I want. Mine is Final Girls.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
What?
I still have to see that.
Yeah.
So good.
It's very fourth wall breaking. Was that yours?
That was gonna be one of my do-overs actually.
Yeah.
For comedy. Oh.
I just love Malin Ackerman and the fact that she plays the mom, and her mom is so dumb in the movie where she has to try and get her. All right.
I need to see it.
I think it's on Netflix.
I think it is.
Yeah. So, Keith, what is this is for the final pick?
I'm sulking.
Or slasher.
Okay. Man, there's... Problem is, I look at all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and there was something else that just popped in my head. What was it? I had it. Final Girls just like wiped it right out of my head. It was, I probably would have to go... Have any of the Nightmare on Elm Streets been chosen?
That's surprising.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Wait,
First
no.
one
Yeah,
was
I
taken.
picked the
They've
first
got
one.
the 1986 version.
All right. Trying to think what the other ones...
Freddy's Revenge,
Yeah,
Dream Warriors.
Don't
Dream-
pick 2. That movie is
Dream Master.
hits.
Yeah.
Master.
Two was
Nightmare.
called Freddy's Revenge, wasn't it?
Yeah,
But
it
of course
was.
it wasn't.
There was no Freddy in
Yeah.
it until so
That movie is. Oh.
Dream Warriors, Dream Master.
Dream Child.
Dream
New
Child.
Nightmare is the fourth
New
one.
Nightmare. New
That was
Nightmare is
interesting.
really
Yeah,
good.
I have that as number 2 on my list because it was
That's a good
that
one.
fourth wall
That's such a
breaking.
creative movie. Yeah.
The only one Scream was taken. If that's
True.
We shouldn't be helping him, guys.
He's the last one.
He's the last
we want to move
pick,
on.
I am the last one.
You are the last one, Keith.
Let's go with Dream Warriors.
Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Yeah.
Written by Frank Darabont and Chuck Russell.
I think that's really when they kind of flipped the script on things too. So
Where they started making.
So they start making Freddy the
Yeah.
central character.
Where he
Yeah.
starts.
Mhm.
That's where he starts going from, Boogeyman in the shadows, this is God, to he's a game show host.
Yeah.
Keith, you want to do a do-over?
Oh, do over.
But,
Are you still looking at Tony Gold?
well, yeah, that's no. The thing is, no, I'm confused because he that was like his first thing. He wasn't really big then.
Well, I mean, in retrospect, you recognize him. I mean, Kevin Bacon's in the original Friday the 13th.
That's what I was confused. Anyway, yeah, you made my choice easier actually because you took Final Girls.
Okay, so you're replacing comedy horror?
No, I want to replace sci-fi horror with Cube. That's actually something that's a lot more me than Predator, although I do like the Predator stuff. That is more distinctively, that's...
How about you, Steve?
I'm happy with everything I got, actually.
Dave, any do-overs?
Did somebody pick Shaun of the Dead?
No,
we
talked
discussed
about
it.
that.
You had Jack
That was my number 2 under
you had
comedy
Jack
horror.
Frost, and you had Let the Right One In. For 4.
Jack Frost is tough to let go of, though, because that's kind of...
Yeah.
What do I want to do?
Angela, weigh in on this one. Help him pick. Which do you find funnier? Shaun of the Dead or Jack
Have you seen
Frost?
Shaun of the Dead?
All right.
It's really good. You've seen Jack Frost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you put in those cookies? Antifreeze. Oatmeal, yeah. Oh, God.
I want you to stay warm. Horrible child.
I'll stay with Jack Frost because
right.
it's stupid.
I'm the only one I'm Do you guys not think of Ravenous as a comedy?
I
don't know anything about it.
I've never actually seen it, so I can't really weigh in on it.
I don't remember it that well. It didn't really... I think most movies have some element of comedy to them, but...
Yeah.
All right, you know what? I will change Ravenous to Return of the Living Dead. That was my number one choice anyway, and it was just kind of a last minute. What the hell?
Well, it will still be in the recording.
Yes, I wanted to give Ravenous some love.
There you go.
So,
Yeah.
so the Return of the Living Dead. So Dan O'Bannon gets represented twice.
So we're gonna go over the final,
Yes.
Our final teams,
final
our rosters.
Keith for his 2018 horror movie draft pick. For comedy horror, Slither, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, Dead Alive, Cube, Insidious 2, Fatal Attraction, Nightmare Before Elm Street, 3, Dream Warriors. Steve has Ghostbusters,
The Abominable.
Abominable, Dr. Phoebes,
Fives.
Paranormal Activity, Suspiria, Alien, Exorcist, Platoon, and Psycho. Dave has Jack Frost, Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, The Last Exorcism, Let the Right One In, Jurassic Park, The Grudge, Buried, and Halloween. Shane has Cabin in the Woods, Carrie, Cloverfield, High Tension, Aliens, The Ring, Martyrs, and Scream. Mark with Return of the Living Dead, Old Boy the Original, What We Do in the Shadows, Cemetery Man, The Thing, Angel Heart, Willow, and Texas Chainsaw.
That is a very fun list.
Jessica has Army of Darkness, Friday the 13th, the first one, Record, or REC, Train to Busan, Resident Evil, Insidious, we need to talk about Kevin, and Saw. My list is Tremors, Saw 3D, The Final Chapter, Troll Hunter, Audition, The Cell, It, Chapter 1, 7, and Final Girls. Mark, are you acting in anything?
I am in Little Theater Off Broadway's production of The Gramercy Ghost, opening November 3rd, I believe. First weekend of November.
Angela, glassed over that you arrived. Is there any horror movie that you want to call out?
Just that Lights Out. That's it.
That's a really good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Steve.
I've already done enough plugging, I think.
Do it again.
Because we'll be on different podcasts.
I haven't published anything recently, but when I do, it will be announced immediately on my website, which is beerandmonsters.com. Also on Twitter, although I hardly ever check Twitter these days because it's such a cesspool of hatred.
Well, I mean, there is the most recent audiobook that just came out on Audible called The Quiche by Antoine Vandelay, which I narrated. To be clear. Yes. Thank you.
It's All Been Done presents.
Who's got the time?